around and well, I'll start by introducing myself. I think I know a lot of you, if not all of you. We may have met or talked, but my name is Michelle. I'm the manager of troop support and customer care at Girl Scouts of Central California South. We do have some other staff members on our call, so we'll go ahead and, are we okay if I introduce everybody or do we pass it around the room?
No, Michelle, go ahead and introduce everyone.
Okay, so you just heard from Jenny, that is our COO. We also have Paula Hanlon on the call, and then Christina Stonehawker, Sarah Allman, Ashley Luna. I see Bobby in here being incognito, but we're all here to help however we can, give you as much information. And then of course we have Russell, Russell Statham. You probably all know him, but I'm gonna hand it over to him and he's gonna do a little welcome and introduction for everybody.
Great. Well, thank you, Michelle. And I want to thank everybody for making the time to come on. We're excited to share with you what we think is a pretty cool initiative. And I wanted to just sort of start by sharing the why, because I know that, so many of us have been in cookies for a considerable period of time. And I know how much energy and love and also frustration that brings to many of us as leaders in the Girl Scout movement. So the reason that I wanted to sort of, preface that is to share, that we over the last several years have done a lot of work internally in terms of improving the services that, we are providing to troops, improving the level of staffing that we have to be able to provide services. And then, more importantly, and I think what we're most proud about is really lowering a lot of the costs for things that we offer at the council. So, over the last several years, we've really tried to make things as much as possible free, or if not, possible to be free, the lowest cost. We've eliminated, a lot of our fees and things like that. And really, that's only been possible because of cookie revenue. And so, the reason that we're sort of asking everyone to consider coming together and helping us is that we have done, so much to really improve the experience for our girls. And, our goal is to be able to continue to provide those same types of services. But ultimately, the budget for council, and not just the council, but Girl Scouts as a whole, it's almost entirely derived from our proceeds that are generated through our product programs. And it's, one of the things that makes Girl Scouts so amazing, because it's a self-sufficient, program, but it is also one of the things that can be a bit challenging. So with that, in mind, we are relatively close to our overall goal. And, one of the things that we were able to do is work with our baker to come up with what is really a pretty unprecedented agreement. It's a pilot program for this extended sale only, where the baker is actually giving us product up front without risk to the council. So one of the things that I wanted to just clarify, because a lot of times I think in seasons past, we would get to the end of the product season and we might, for example, do an extended sale. It is not because we have extra inventory that we have to sell. So I just wanted to be very clear about that. Actually, we did a phenomenal job of managing inventory. And I think everyone probably recognizes how different it was this year in terms of being able to get cookies and everything. We really overhauled our inventory management system. So we actually have a pretty low amount of inventory, but because of the changes and everything across the movement, there is substantial excess cookie inventory at other councils and with the baker. And so this is really an opportunity for us to be able to sort of pass on some of the savings that we would typically see within the girl incentive side back onto troop proceeds. And so that's sort of how we structured this. It's really an opportunity for troops to continue to fundraise towards their goals, and obviously continuing to contribute to the overall fundraising goal for the council. We'll get into the specifics, I think, with Michelle and the team, and we're happy to get into any questions that you might have. But I really just sort of wanted to share the why behind it. And also really to just say thank you for even being willing to have this conversation, because I know how hard cookie season is for our volunteers. I know how hard our girls are working. And I appreciate everyone's openness to talking about this tonight. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Michelle, and we'll go ahead and, I think, get started.
Thank you, Russell. I also wanted to just mention just a little housekeeping thing. We are recording the meeting, so we can go through the questions, make sure we've answered everything thoroughly. So I just want to make sure everybody knew that we were doing that. But let's get right into the sale. So we're really excited. We know we definitely kept in mind, and we're very thoughtful about, there are many troops that have been boothing all weekend for multiple weeks now. And so we really wanted to make sure that if you were interested in participating, then you had that option, but that everybody knew that it was an optional sale. You do not have to do this. We are sensitive to that. And I can say, as a volunteer with my troop, I do spend some time boothing. So I understand what those weekends feel like. So please know that that is the very first thing that you should keep in mind, is that it is optional. With that said, we just want to know who's opting in and who's opting out. So if you're a troop coordinator and your troop is in, then awesome. We are glad to have you. Just make sure to fill out that participation form, and we will note that you are opting in. Girls also have the opportunity, if the troop has opted out, girls can still opt into the sale, and we will assign them a staff facilitator. So if you as a troop coordinator are no longer interested in continuing with that position for your troop, we understand, but we realize that there are girls that may be really excited about the idea of winning a golden ticket, or maybe there is a goal that they have for the troop, or just something that's really motivating them to keep going. There are some girls that just really enjoy selling cookies. And so we want to make sure that everybody has the option to sell, regardless of whether or not they have a troop coordinator or volunteer that's willing to facilitate that. So we do also have staff facilitators that will take over. We just need to know that those girls want to have that option. So if your troop is not going to continue, then that is fine. Just ask your girls if they would like to, and we are happy to help however we can. Pretty much what you're going to do is you're just going to log on to the website. You're going to fill out that participation form. We want to know what the girls want to see as those prizes. So have them come up with some ideas. Like having girls in my household makes it really easy for me. I can throw out some ideas and hope that it's pretty consistent across the board. But you never know. You never know what everyone's into. There's always new things cropping up. So we want to make sure that the prizes that are in there are really what the girls want to see. So encourage your girls to, come up with some ideas as well. And then once you as a troop coordinator have opted in and your troop is ready to go, you're going to continue with the sale pretty much for the most part exactly the same as you've always done it. The primary difference is going to be that you will not be transferring between troops. So, we normally would go on Facebook, and if we're short on a flavor, then we might call on another troop to transfer those over to us. With this sale, we don't want to do that because you do have that option to return cookies. And so it just makes inventory a little bit easier to manage if all of those transfers are coming directly from council. But as far as everything else goes, you're going to check out your cookies from council and transfer them down to your girls just like you would throughout the rest of the sale. You're just not going to do any of those transfers between troops. We're going to provide booths. We'll continue as a council to secure booths. Over the next week, I believe on Wednesday, the boothing will reopen with new booths, new boothing opportunities. So if your girls are interested in continuing to booth as a troop, that is available. Girls will also have the option to booth individually with a staff boothing buddy or with their families. We're going to proceed just like we would normally during the cookie season by establishing those council secured booths, and then also troops can secure their own booths too. The primary difference between this, so like I said, is the transfers, but also the recognitions. So girls will not be earning additional recognitions on top of what they've already earned for this sale, but they do have that option for the larger proceed, provided that they have the troop has opted in and they have a troop facilitator. So there's the proceeds for troops that opt in with a troop facilitator will be $1.25. For girls that opt in without their troop, that will be $1. So, and they will be assigned to a staff facilitator that will do all of the things that their troop facilitator does, just with they'll just come to council instead of going to the troop. Any questions so far on any of that? Okay. Oh, Victoria has a question. You can.
With my daughter, we've been collecting sales online, or they'll call me and tell me what they want, and then I just pick up the individual boxes from council. I've never picked up a case. Is that still how it works?
Yep, it's going to be exactly the same. We will just have some additional protocols because the whole incentive, or a lot of the incentive for some of the girls, is the golden ticket, right? So they want their chance at the golden ticket. And the way that we put some stipulations in, because we realize that not everybody is going to check out an entire case of cookies. They may just come and collect a couple of packages, but we want those girls to have the same opportunity to win as anybody else would. So in the guide, you'll see that we put in some stipulations for what to do in those situations and how those would be monitored. But yes, you can absolutely come and just check out packages for sure. And then the very, very fun part of this whole sale, that what we're really expecting to be a lot of fun for the girls, is the opportunity to earn those golden tickets and the bronze tickets and the silver tickets. So the way that we are going to do this is tickets will be hidden on the inside of the cases. Only one person in our staff is going to be responsible for hiding those tickets, so it will be completely fair for everybody. Nobody will have an advantage. Once you open the case and you see that sticker with the QR code on the inside, your girl can scan that ticket and she'll be able to see the prize that she wins associated with it. And there will be 3 different levels of prizes, which will be bronze, silver, and gold. We're hoping to give the girls a lot of opportunities to win, because we know that they are working so hard. And we really want to make sure that those prizes are things that they want to see. I have to say that one of my favorite things so far in reading the opt-in surveys, it has been seeing what the girls want. It's really, I don't know, it's probably the best part. It's a lot of fun to see what they really want. So we definitely want to keep those in mind. So I want to just keep encouraging you to have your girls' voice, or make their voices heard, and fill in those options as well. But essentially the idea behind the sale is that the troop will have the opportunity to continue to earn proceeds. And we realize that without the recognitions, the girls may, they'll need an additional incentive too. And the golden tickets are the way of incentivizing it for girls. So we're hoping to have a wide variety of prizes for the girls to choose from, and they'll be able to claim those. We want to make sure that that they get their prizes right away, because that is something that is important to them, we know. And this is the best way we can come up with to make sure that, all of the girls that previously sold get their recognitions on time and get those right when they expected them. And then these girls that are coming on to get started or continue have the opportunity to earn their rewards right away as well. Okay. Any questions? I know that we're all here because you came for a question and answer session, right? So I'll go ahead and open it up unless there's anything that we need to elaborate on. Christina or Ashley? We're good? Okay, so Jennifer has a question.
So the cookies that we check out now, are they going to be the ones that we can return if we need to at the end?
No, the cookies that you already have are
no, not the ones that I already have. Like,
okay,
because our troop sold all of our cookies already.
Okay.
So cookies that I get from now on, will those be the ones that count towards the golden whatever? And then
Yes.
at the end, yes. Okay.
So anything that is transferred to you from the 25th on is eligible for return and the additional proceed.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? I thought there would be more questions.
I have a question.
Okay.
If it's multiple girls doing a booth and they open the case, so how many potential prizes are able to be divvied out for one ticket?
One ticket is one prize. So what our suggestion is, and you'll see that in the guide as well, is that if a ticket is opened at the booth, then you'd want to make sure that you randomly select a girl from the booth to win the prize.
No cookie.
Excuse me, we have a question.
Yes.
What about the cookie box?
Are you, what is the question in regard to cookie bucks?
Are cookie bucks accrued during the golden ticket?
Cookie bucks are not accrued during the golden ticket sale because they're part of the recognitions that were from the first sale. So no recognitions are accrued during the second sale. So cookie bucks would be included with that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Jason, and then Arlene after.
My question has to do with, I know during normal cookie season, we also have the cookie shares. So if somebody doesn't want to, or if they're not able to take it, is that also going to still be running alongside with the golden opportunity?
Yes. Yes, you can still promote cookie share. You can still do all those things. The only, I guess, drawback, I don't know if you consider it a drawback with a cookie share, but, cookie share is a virtual product, so you can't necessarily win a ticket on it, but you could still get the proceeds.
And that's the same for the direct sales.
Mm-hmm. And then Arlene, you had a question also?
Well, I was concerning on the booth. Would it be in our town? Would it be in Fresno? How would you do that?
The booth?
For us to do a booth?
We're continuing to secure booths throughout our council. So we're revisiting some of the locations that we had previously spoken to, and maybe, some of them that had said, no previously might be changing their minds. We're going to continue with the same. We're going back to all the Walmarts. Troops can still secure booths in their own areas as well.
So you will do it. I wouldn't have to do it.
Those will be available first come, first serve. Absolutely. And then but if your troop wants to, you do have that option.
Oh yeah. My troop well.
Yay.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Thank you.
Yep. And I saw somebody else's hand up. Jason Austin.
So if we decide to participate, we close out our sale on Sunday like we normally would. If without this, we collect the money, fill out the delinquent forms for this sale, and this starts basically a whole new cookie season, basically.
Yes, yes. So you're going to end the sale, finalize it, do whatever you need to do just as you normally would. And then if your troop decides that this is a good option for them, then you can absolutely, then you would be starting over.
Okay.
And Jason Davidson?
With that said, with it being closing out and starting over, we still have that 1 week gap that will accumulate to the recognition order too. So if we choose to use that gap, I know that our recognition order is not due to like the 29th, but is all our delinquent forms and stuff also postponed to it, or are they still on having to be turned in on those certain days that are already posted?
The delinquent parent forms are still going to be due on the same day. That week gap is really kind of like, I guess you could say the golden week, right? Where both will accrue. So up until the 29th, sales for the girls will continue to accrue. and troops can still earn that 125 proceed. So there's like those 4 days where that will add on. So yes, there is that. We do recognize that there is a little bit of overlap there, but it doesn't really change any of the dates as far as parent delinquencies. Those are still going to be due because your parents still owe that money that from that previous sale. It's just, this is more of like a kind of like a free time where girls could, continue to add on to their sales, maybe earn that next level of recognition, and the troop earns that additional proceed if there is a troop coordinator.
Michelle, one thing I just wanted to add that I think is important just to clarify. So if you do take advantage of that, which is permissible, you won't be able to return those cookies, right? So if you check out, let's say you check out 1,000 packages of cookies, right? You set those to the girl recognition. So in theory, those are claimed by the girl. You can't then, of course, return those cookies. So that's just the one sort of caveat that I wanted to make sure everyone understands, because outside of that, you will be able to return cookies. But if you have accrued those cookies in that 1 week period towards their incentive, you would not be able to return those. So I just want to make sure that was clear, because that is kind of a weird exception because of that time period.
Yes, thank you, Russell. I did not say that for sure. And I think it is definitely an important thing to remember, because if the girls are earning recognitions, then that would subtract from their total. What does the cookie drop look like, and when do we need to order by? Ashley, do you want to field that question from Shelley?
Yes, so the cookie drop is exactly the same process as planned orders. So you're doing the exact same process as you did in the first sale. We're not doing a big cookie drop or anything. It's just based on planned orders. So you're just going to continue to do exactly what you have been as a troop coordinator, or going to your troop coordinator if you're not a troop coordinator, and they place those planned orders and they come pick it up from either council, either Baker Silver, Fresno locations.
And then Jason?
What Russell was saying about how if we transfer them down to the girls, it voids the return policy. How do we put it into the system as if that girl is responsible? Does the system kind of reset, or how does that work to where the girls are being accountable for that money for cookies they check out versus not going towards their sale? You understand what I
think so. I think I understand the question. So you're asking if you transfer those cookies down to the girl and they accrue recognitions on those cells, then how do you as the troop coordinator manage making sure that those cookies are not returned?
Yeah, I mean, after you said that next week is that, I guess, grace period where it counts towards the $1.25 and the recognitions, right? Mm-hmm. Now, when you transfer them to us from the cupboard, we transfer them to the girl, or do we keep them as like a troop account? I guess I'm trying to figure out how we transfer them to the girls so it doesn't show credit. You know what I mean? That this is like you guys shut off the ABC cookies to where it doesn't accumulate more sales for their incentives.
So once the incentive order okay, so you're going to transfer them down to the girl when you get them, and your girls say, I need 10 cases. You're going to transfer their 10 cases down to them, but you'll want to make sure that they know that for these 4 days, they should only take what they are planning on selling, because they cannot return them. Like, they should plan on paying their financial responsibility for those cookies. So you would just want to make sure for that week, those cookies that you checked out to them, that they could not return for the troop to then return.
Okay.
but ABC doesn't like shut down. It doesn't shut down the ordering system. It's just something that you'll want to make really clear to your parents, that what they're checking out this first week, if they're counting it towards, which it will count towards the recognition order. You want to make it really clear to them that if they are checking out cookies this week, those would not be eligible for return if you're claiming them for recognition. So if it puts them into another, recognitions level, then you want to make that really clear to them.
Okay, and when does the golden ticket start? Does it start the 25th or does it start the 29th?
It's the golden tickets will start when the sale starts. So the idea would be that the tickets are going to be randomly distributed into the cases beginning, they'll be ready for Thursday. So the potential is there that somebody could find it on Thursday.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
These are great questions. Thank you, everyone, for having such detailed and good questions.
And Leah?
When will the new boothing dates be put into ABC's, or if maybe it's not going to be in ABC?
It will be Wednesday, correct, Jenny?
Yes, on Wednesday.
Thank you.
And we'll send an email out to everyone letting them know that they're in there and that it's going to open.
Will that be first come, first serve or by lottery?
First come, first serve.
What's the grace week again? It's 4 days.
4 days, the 25th through the 29th when the order goes in. When do cookies need to be ordered by? So you'll just want to make sure that you're continuing to order as you would when you're placing your planned orders. Charmian, I know that you were in a startup troop previously, or your girls were in a startup troop, and you have since moved to another troop, correct?
Yes, we have.
Okay. So if your troop has a troop coordinator, you're going to want to work with your troop coordinator. Is that Jason? Is that
Hi, Jason.
You'll want to make sure that you work with your troop coordinator to find out when they want you to place orders. So it's specific to the troop.
One thing I did want to just add, and this is no guarantee, but we are trying to work on another sort of public event. We're trying to do something like what we did in Fresno with Cookies for a Cause down in Bakersfield, or maybe Mid-Valley, although Mid-Valley is really challenging because there aren't any like actual TV stations that are independent in the Mid-Valley. So no guarantee, but just know we are trying to put something like that together with one of our potential media partners down in Bakersfield. So that could be another opportunity that obviously would be open to all troops, assuming we were able to get that to happen.
Are there any other questions that we can answer? All right. Does anybody have anything they want to add? Anything, Christina or Ashley, that you think we needed to talk about or add in?
We are going to do we will do a question and answers and get these the questions that you've asked and the answers posted. So if over this weekend you think of anything else that you want to answer to, please go ahead and email that into customer care, and then we will look at those and get you answers for those.
Troop 2796 has a question.
Okay, I just want to double check. So if we place an order to pick up on Thursday next week, those cases that we pick up will have the golden tickets in them?
Well, we don't know which ones will have the golden tickets in them, but there is a potential for them to have them in it. Hopefully, right?
That sounded like a trick question to me.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
I have a question.
Okay.
When will the smart cookies be zeroed out and show the new sale?
Ashley or Christina, do you have an answer to that one? Does it go back to 0?
So in the ABC Smart Cookie, it will just continue to add, but again, we will turn off the rewards after that. And so it won't add to the total, but you will continue to still see. So let's just say you sold 1,000 packages and after the recognition part adds, it'll continue to keep adding to those 1,000 packages, but does not mean that those are the reward packages you're getting. Does that make sense?
It does. To me, anyway. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and because if they can run a report, right, date to date, so they can start it from the starting date of this program to the end,
Yes.
and be able to see exactly what all the girls did.
Correct. So you'll still see the same amount that you had in the first sale in there. It'll just continue to add to those. But again, we're able to keep accurate account of what you've already stopped at the 21st and after that to the next second sale.
I got it. Thank you, Ashley.
No problem.
And I think Jason Austin has his hand up.
Who puts the tickets in the cases? Is it ABC Baker? Is it council?
I don't know whose responsibility that is because I'm not allowed to know that. So I don't know.
I just didn't know if there was a chance that nobody's going to get a ticket, or I guess
No,
it's going to be that Willy Wonka. Everybody's ripping the candy bars open.
I know that
good
picture.
question, Jason. They're absolutely there. It will definitely not be a situation where no one gets the prizes. I will personally guarantee that. So, but we are really keeping internally a complete wrap on how the tickets get in there, because what I shared with our team is I don't want there to be any even appearance of anyone potentially having an unfair advantage. So you have my word that the reason that no one really has those details is because we're not sharing that with really anyone on the team, so that everyone is kind of in the dark on how it works. Just so
and
that
that's fair. That was one of the concerns one of my parents asked, so I'm just relaying it on to you.
I appreciate you asking that, because it gives us the opportunity to share that we've been really, thinking ahead about that.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, Jason, you had asked if we're coming up with
Michelle, you went to robot.
I just wanted, am I still a robot? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, you are.
I think in the meantime, Leah has another question.
Yeah, is there a certain amount of prizes per certain amount of cases? Has that been decided?
We have not identified a specific targeted amount, because we want to make sure that it's sort of based on how it's going, because we didn't want to sort of, I guess, set aside a certain number and then that's too little or too many. So it'll just sort of be, it'll be a kind of a day by day thing. But you have my word that we're going to make sure that everyone has lots of fun, and that there are a lot of these fun and exciting prizes. But obviously it does have to be, tied to how many cookies we're selling. So we can't do, 20 PS5s if we only sell 1,000 packages of cookies, for example. Or, yeah. So. Not to even say that a PS5 will be necessarily one of the prizes, but it might be. You never know.
Is there a limit to how many girls can get a ticket? Like, can one girl get 3 tickets, or is there going to be a limit where she can only have 1 ticket, and then?
I think I think if we're looking at the nature of the game, I think it's definitely a possibility that a girl could win multiple tickets. Just because if somebody is checking out more cookies, then obviously their opportunity to win goes up. So, I mean, I think that's kind of the fun of it, I guess, is that you could potentially win more than one prize.
Okay, so they're not gonna be told they can't, they have to give them tickets back, I guess is what I'm asking, right?
No,
If they
no.
get three, they get three.
Yeah, I wouldn't have the heart to do that. I don't think any one of us would.
What would keep someone from hoarding cookies and then returning them just for tickets?
If you read the rules, it specifically says if you do that, you're disqualified. So again, with everything in Girl Scouts, we expect and anticipate, right? People will follow the promise and law. But if we did have folks that did that, they would be disqualified and they would not receive the prizes. So we just, again, this isn't a gotcha. We're not trying to disqualify anyone. We just want everyone to operate, with integrity and the best intent.
And really one of the things that we wrote into the process with this in mind also was that basically by returning cookies, you're saying you're done selling. So if you're checking out cookies and you're returning cookies as unsold and you want them removed from your inventory count, then you're saying you're done with the sale. So and then we wouldn't check any more cookies out to you. So you would basically be responsible for selling what you have before you could check anything or return anything to us.
I think Leah has another question.
Thank
Sorry,
you,
guys.
Ashley.
I didn't read the original email, but I'm sorry if this was asked, but delinquent parents, are they not allowed to participate, I assume?
Yes, if parents have not paid their original balance, then they would be ineligible. Any other questions?
I just want to personally say thank you again to everyone for even, considering doing this. Hopefully, you have definitely gotten the sense from us, the sincerity that we're, really approaching with this, because I know how much time all of you, particularly during cookies, give to our organization, and we are so incredibly thankful. And hopefully the girls, are really sensing the sincerity through which we want this to be a really exciting and fun experience. And again, just want everyone to know this really is optional because we don't want anyone to feel like they're being pushed to be on cookie burnout, and so I just, again, want to say thank you for even considering this, because I know that there's a lot going on, and cookie season is a crazy time for all of us. So thank you.
I got one more question.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
So basically the whole point is because we didn't reach our $1 million goal. If we still don't reach that $1 million goal, or we come close to it, are we going to extend it even longer, or are we going to not? Are we just going to not get that dollar per box, or how is that going to work if we still don't reach that $1 million goal?
That's a good question, Jason. Unfortunately, our budget is based on sort of a trigger, and so we wouldn't be able to pay the dollar per package on those cookies that are not part of this sale if we don't hit that. I really hope that we do, because again, that's one of the reasons that we wanted to do this, is to try to hit that so that we can. I know from a demand standpoint that absolutely we can. It's just a matter of will we have enough participation to meet that. So my hope is that we will be able to, Jason. Obviously, I can't guarantee anything though.
Anybody else have any questions? We Are we gonna
I
open
mean, I
an
will
assembly?
say, I will say, Jason, like if it was, 999,000, like, 700 or something, we would not use it as a technicality to not, right, to not, if we're almost to the goal, we're gonna do it. It's just a matter of if we're significantly off, then obviously from a budget standpoint, we couldn't do it. But if we're almost there, we're gonna do the right thing and make sure that everybody gets it.
Yeah, I guess that was what I was trying to get at. I mean, I could see if we're 100,000, but if we're within a couple hundred cases or packs.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and I hopefully everyone has really sensed that, we really want to get past this feeling that there's like sort of these gotchas, and we want to pay everybody $1 a box. I mean, that that helps our girls because they can do obviously a lot more with that money, helps the council. So, it's a partnership to be able to get there.
All right. Well, if there aren't any other questions, maybe I'll pause just in case. But if there aren't any other questions, I mean, I'm so thankful that you all have come out tonight. Like Russell said, I'm so glad that you all are even considering this because, I feel ya in the boothing and everything. I know we're tired, and so just the fact that you're here and listening and even taking it into consideration means a lot. And so I do thank you all, especially it's a Friday, right? I definitely appreciate that. I know we all do. So if like Jenny said, if you have any questions, you think of something, some other scenario that comes up, definitely feel free to call customer care or email, whatever, and we'll be happy to answer those questions.